This video is about the steps for solving a word problem. This is going to be a very important strategy for you to learn because problem solving is something that you're going to do in your everyday lives, not just math class. So there's a couple ways that we can set up word problems and break them into pieces so it's easier to solve. I'm going to go through a 6-step process. You may have heard other ones from different teachers, but this is what we're going to try to use in my class. If you have something that works better, that's detailed and organized, come see me and you can try that instead. All right, so steps for solving a word problem. Step 1, you need to figure out what the problem is asking and rewrite what is to be found. So we did that already in class, trying to figure out what is the problem asking. Step 2, decide what information is important. Step 3, find the important information in the problem. So what is it asking? What's important? Now let's locate it. Now that we have those 3 things done, step 4 is we try to solve the problem. So when we solve the problem, we're just setting everything up and we're trying to solve, because step 4 and step 5 seem pretty similar, but step 4 is more of like the setup of how we're going to solve the problem, and then step 5 we actually answer the question. And then step 6, and this is one that people forget a lot, it's really important, is to check your work. Check your work. Check your work. Should I say it one more time? Check your work. Does the answer make sense? Okay. If you are, have a word problem where you're spending a bunch of money and it asks how much you have left and your answer is bigger than what you started, be like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. How can I spend money and then have more money? So you kind of want to be thinking about the problem like that. Like, does this answer really make sense? It's very important that you go back and check that and you don't just plug in an answer and make a guess. Really think through all of those steps and go back through and check your answer. Does this make sense? Okay, let's try an example. I'll go through an example. So this problem says, Michael has 2 brothers. One brother is 3 years older than Michael, and the other is 3 years younger. If the youngest brother is 12 years old, how old is the oldest brother? So we got a lot of things going on. First thing we need to do is figure out what the question is asking. So if I look right here, remember that one of the clue words I can look for is how. So it says, how old is the oldest brother? So they want to know, I'm going to highlight this, how old is the oldest brother? They don't want to know how old the youngest brother is or the middle brother. They want to know how old is the oldest brother. So my first step is to rewrite that question. How old is the oldest brother? Step 2, we're going to decide what information is important. Well, Michael's age and the youngest brother's age. Both of these things are important. So we have 3 years older than Michael. That's important. And the youngest brother is 12. That's important. And the other one is 3 years younger. So highlighting all these important information, okay? So step 2 is what is important? Michael's age and the youngest brother's age, because we're going to use that to figure out how old the oldest brother is. So we figured out what's important. Now step 3, I'm going to find the important information, and I already kind of did that for you as I was stepping through 2. So if we look right here, we need to know Michael's and the brother's age if we're going to figure out the oldest brother. So I highlighted the key information in here, and then I wrote it down. So here's what they say. So 3 years older than Michael, okay? So Michael is 3 years younger than the oldest brother, because it says he's right in the middle. So one brother is 3 years older than Michael. So Michael is 3 years younger than the oldest brother. The youngest brother, if we look right here, the youngest brother is 12. So we're going to write that down, 12. And the youngest is 3 years younger than Michael. So we have 3 years younger, okay? So we know that Michael is the middle brother, because one is 3 years older and one is 3 years younger. and then it gives us the youngest birthday. So we have all of our important information, we've located it, and we've written it down. Let's go to the next one, okay? Step 4. Now I'm going to solve. If I look right here, I'm using the information from here that I have. All right, we know the youngest brother is 12 and that Michael's 3 years older. So if we combine 12 and 3, that will give me Michael's age, which is 15. Next, now that I know Michael's age, which is 15, I know that the older brother is 3 years older than Michael. So 15 plus 3 equals 18. So the oldest brother is 18 years old. Perfect. Now step 6, I'm going to check my answer and I'm going to say, yes, this makes sense because 12, 15, and 18 are all 3 years apart. And all of the brothers are 3 years apart. So this answer makes sense. All right? Perfect. Now let's try an example together. And for this, you're going to be pausing your video and writing in pencil so you can see how you do compared to what the video tells you is correct. So let's read this first question. Miss Pricing, Miss Moser, and Miss Woldman had a candy eating party. Mrs. Woldman ate 5 fewer pieces of candy than Miss Moser. Miss Pricing ate 10 more pieces of candy than Miss Moser. If Miss Woldman ate 20 pieces of candy, how many pieces of candy did Miss Pricing eat? Okay, pause the video, and I want you to do step 1 on your own. Okay, I hope that you paused your video and you didn't just keep going so that you had a chance to think about this. So the first thing is, what was the problem asking? So I go through, I read all of it, and I see this clue word how, and how many pieces of candy did Miss Pricing eat? So I'm going to rewrite this part of my question. How many pieces of candy did Miss Pricing eat? Now next we're going to decide what information is important. And we're going to do this one together. So I'll write it down and then pause the video and record it. Don't try to record and listen at the same time. That's too difficult. So let me do the work and then pause and copy it into your notes. And if you got this one wrong, make sure that you fix it. So what is important? Well, we don't know how much candy I ate. So I think it's how much candy, and I'm going to call her Miss M for Miss Moser. So Miss Moser's candy eaten. And then I'm going to put, Mrs. Woldman's candy that was eaten. How much they ate was important. And then the difference between how much everyone ate. Okay? I'm going to fix this. There we go. So what's important? Miss Moser's candy, Miss Woldman, and then the difference between everybody, because that's going to help figure out how much I ate. That's probably a lot, because I like candy. All right, so now that we figured out what's important, we need to locate the important information from the problem. So I want you to pause the video. You should write this down. So pause the video, write this down, and then do step 3 on your own. So what you're going to do is you're going to write this down, and then you are going to find the important information. So you can circle it, underline it, highlight it, but your job is to find the important information. Okay, perfect. So let's look at what I highlighted, and let's hope that you had something similar. This first sentence, Miss Pricing, Miss Moser, and Miss Woldman had a candy eating party, is not necessary to figure out the problem. But we did say we need to know how much Miss Moser's eaten, Miss Woldman, and then the difference. So if I look up here, it says Miss Woldman ate 5 fewer pieces than Miss Moser. So I just highlighted these 2 things. If you highlighted the whole thing, that's totally fine too. So Woldman ate 5 fewer pieces than Miss Moser. Miss Pricing ate 10 more pieces of candy than Miss Moser. And Miss Woldman ate 20 pieces. Okay? All of this information we decided was important, and then we located it. So now I'm going to write this down, and I'm going to just say Mrs. W 5 less than Miss M. So Mrs. Woldman's 5 less than Miss Moser. Okay, and then the next thing, it says Miss P, Miss Pricing is 10 more than Miss Moser, which is not surprising because I love candy. And last, we know that Mrs. Woldman, or Miss W, ate 20 pieces. So we figured out what we thought was important, and then we put it into our chart, okay? So let's move on to the next part. And we are going to solve the problem. And we're trying to figure out how much candy did I eat. Well, we know that Miss Woldman ate 5 less than Miss Moser. And Miss Woldman ate 20 pieces. So 20 is 5 less than what number? Well, we think about our fact families, and I know that if Miss Woldman ate 20, and that is 5 less than Miss Moser. So we know Miss Moser ate 20 plus 5, and that equals 25 pieces. So Miss Moser ate 25 pieces because Miss Woldman ate 20, and that was 5 less than Miss Moser. And 20 is 5 less than 25, so we know Miss Moser ate 25. Next, let's figure out how much I ate. So if we know that Miss Moser ate 25, then, and I ate 10 more, so Moser ate 25, and I ate 10 more, that means I ate 35 pieces. Perfect. So what is the oops, that's a pain. Okay, so the answer is Miss P ate 35 pieces. And then the last thing, go back and check your work. Does this make sense? Well, we know that Miss Pricing ate the most, and Miss Woldman ate 20, and Miss Moser's 5 less, and yeah, okay, so Woldman's 5 less, Miss Moser, they're all pretty similar, and Miss Pricing's is the most, so yeah, this makes sense, yes. Miss P ate the most. Okay, so make sure that you have all of this written down. Pause, write your stuff down, whatever. I know the video is a little bit long, so make sure you stand up and stretch a little bit when you're done. Awesome.